So now let's talk about some advanced fillet options. And for this, well, once again, let's go to fillet. And here, I'll start with the face fillet. So we've already seen the first two types of fillets. Let's go to this face fillet. And here we can start selecting the faces. Now, this will be one of the best places to start with the face fillet. So I'll just select this face, and for face 2 I'll select these two smaller faces. Okay, so we have got these two faces selected, actually 3 faces selected here. Now let's start filleting it. So currently it looks like a very simple fillet. As you can see, a fillet of radius 10 mm, but when you start increasing the radii, at some point when the radius is kind of big that it overflows the current plane, then it will go to the next plane which you have selected. So this is kind of a method which you can use when you want to add large fillet radii which spans over more than 2 planes. So that's how you can select face fillet. So once you are satisfied, click OK, and there we are, we've got the fillet here. Now the next kind of fillet is full round fillet. So the full round fillet can be used in places like this. So you can use the full round fillet here to just create kind of a semicircular fillet here. So let's just go to fillet, and I'll select this full round fillet. Now I'll select the first plane, then go to the second option, second plane, third option, and select this one as the third plane. And there we are, we've got this full round fillet. So click OK. And we now have the fillet here. So this will create this kind of full round shape here for creating the fillet. Now another example of full round fillet is this groove. So I'll press Ctrl Z to get back to this, and here we have a chamfer here. So we've got the groove and chamfer. Now let's for a moment assume that we don't want a chamfer and instead we want a rounded corner here. For that you can use full round fillet. So go to fillet, select full round, select the first plane, go to second. This one is the second plane, third, and this one is the third plane. Now we have this kind of funnel shape. Click OK, and here we are. So we have got this full round fillet. Okay, let's see the next option. Now this one is overflow type. Now here I have this extrusion on this plane which I'll use to explain this feature. So I'll go to fillet again, and now let's add fillet, a simple one in this case. So I'll just go to the first fillet type, which is constant size fillet, and I'll add it right here on this edge. Now let's just keep the radius to maybe 10 mm. It's kind of huge, but I'll just make it 10 mm now. Okay, with 10 mm radius, we have a problem. This feature is right on top of this fillet. Now there can be only one of the two options. Either you can keep this feature or you can remove this, and fillet tool offers you both the options. So we have the fillet option. Now here we have an option called keep features. So right now keep feature is checked. So SolidWorks will just keep this feature, and once you're finished making this fillet, SolidWorks will extend this feature further up to this point. So let's just keep this thing selected and click OK to see how it looks. And that's how your feature will look like. Okay, now let's do it other way around. So I'll just press Ctrl Z and I'll go to fillet again, and the same edge with the same radius, but I'll just uncheck this keep feature option, and this time SolidWorks will completely delete this feature as if it's not even present in this drawing, and it will only make this fillet. So whenever this kind of feature shows up on a fillet, SolidWorks will offer you one of the two options that you can select. So in this case, I'll click OK, and the feature just disappeared. So you can select any of these methods. So I'll just press Ctrl Z to get back to the original one. Okay, let's now talk about another kind of fillet, which is called partial edge fillet, and I'll apply that fillet here, or maybe I'll just apply it on some other edge. How about this one? This edge looks good, so I'll just apply it here. So I'll go to fillet, and here I'll select this edge. Now as you can see, it will apply fillet from this corner to this, so that's entirely the length of this object. But if you want to apply it only up to certain distance, then you can do so as well very easily. Now before we do that, let's maybe cancel this out and let's maybe add it here. This looks like the perfect edge for this. So I'll go to fillet again, I'll select this edge, and now instead of applying the fillet from this edge to this, I will use this partial edge option. So here we have an option called partial edge. Check this box and scroll down, and now we have some options of selecting edges. So currently we have two edges, a purple one and a green one highlighted here. You can see this one is the purple edge and this one is green edge. Okay, the offset distance is 0 for both of these, but you can add a distance now. For example, in this case, I'll add an offset distance of 5. And now the distance between this edge and the purple one is 5 unit. Similarly, you can add a distance here as well. Maybe I'll just make it 8. And tab key. And there we are. Now the distance between this edge and this green dot is 8 unit. So that's how you can create this offset. Okay, now these offsets are created using distances, but you can use percent values as well. So just click here and select percentage offset, and now the percent offset is 10% approximately from the first one. You can change it to maybe, let's say, 16%, and now the distance from this one to this is 16% of this entire length. Also, you can just do the same for this one, or you can use distance offset value. Once you're satisfied with the fillet, just click OK, and here we have the partial fillet. Now, so far we are making circular fillets, but in SolidWorks you can make fillets of different types. For example, you can just make even fillets with conic sections. Okay, so let's do that, but before I do it, I'm just going to delete all of these fillets from the feature tree. So I'll select all the 3 fillets that we have created so far, right click and delete. Yes to all, and we no longer have any of these fillets. Okay, let's go to fillet, and I'll just maybe select this edge here. And that's this very simple fillet that we used to get. But in this case, just go to this fillet parameters and you'll notice that we have an option called symmetric. Well, just change that to asymmetric. And now we have an option of choosing different radii. Currently, with the same radius, we are getting a circular fillet. But when you change the radius, for example, I'll just change it back to maybe symmetric, and there you can see that the fillet is circular. If, however, you change it to asymmetric, it will change it to a conic curve. Right now, it's an elliptical curve. You can also select a conic row and apply a row value. Now, depending on the row value which you apply, the conic section will be a parabola, a circle, an ellipse. So depending on the row value, the fillet curve will change. In this case, I'll just add this distance. Maybe I'll just add a distance of 12 here, and this one I'll just make it 8. Okay, so now I'll change that to elliptical as well. So with 8 and 12 and with the elliptical profile, we are getting this kind of fillet. So of course, this is not a circular fillet. We are making this fillet with an elliptical profile. Now, if you want to reverse the direction, so this one is 8, this one is 12. If you want to reverse it, just click here and that's going to reverse it. I'll just click again to make it like this, and I'll click OK. And that's our elliptical fillet.